Hello! This time I've decided to make another video. I decided to make the warrior leveling guide again, because the other video that I released had very poor audio quality. The background music was too high and I have an issue with microphone and my accent isn't perfect for such kind of videos anyway, so I've decided to make another one. So let me start by saying that I'm gonna show which spec I'm using. So I've used so far. I'm almost level 40. I have 100 hours played on Rift Prime, and I think that this is the best warrior DPS spec you can have for leveling, at least the one that I like the most. So what's this spec useful for? I use it for leveling. You can use it for some dungeons. It's not the optimal DPS you can get from a warrior, obviously, because this spec has basically the base ratio between DPS and survivability, which means a survivability account reduced damage taken, self heals and self shields, and this spec has a lot of it, so that's really nice. And I'll show you how to play it, which points to spend where, and how to do macros and stuff. So I'm just doing a zone event now, so I have time and I can show you. The spec is gonna be Paragon, Warlord and Tempest if you have it already. If you don't, you can use River instead of Tempest as an off solo. It's completely fine. So how I did my build: I start with the first 4 points into Warlord to get recovery posture. It's nice healing. I mean, it's some healing, it's not big, but everything will help. Its leveling is hard, you'll see, it's not a joke. And after you get 4 points in Warlord, you can either go one of two ways. You can go 12 Warlord to get Battlefield Medic, or you can go 20 Paragon to get Way of the Sun. Both abilities heal for a bit. There's no major difference. The gameplay changes a bit depending on which one you chose, but it's nothing major. It's just you replace some abilities with another, and it's really not a big deal. And after you reach 20 points in Paragon, I've decided to spend all the rest of my points into the Paragon Soul to get the defensive talent Shield of Will, which is a nice shield. This shield helps a lot when leveling. It prevents so much damage. You can reapply it if you need it, which means you can cast it like 20 seconds before you put some really strong mob, some elite, and after it falls off, I mean when it comes off cooldown, you can use it again and it provides so much healing. It's really useful. And after you get enough levels, you can spend a point in Duality, which means you can have 2 way buffs active, and you unlock Way of the Mountain as well, which prevents knockback as it it reduces damage taken by 5%. And that's it for survivability of this spec. You'll notice that if you're leveling, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage, so everything that is gonna help you survive is gonna help. And even if the mobs aren't going to be killing you without those survivability talents and abilities, the issue is the downtime. Each time you pull a few mobs, you're gonna have to wait until your HP regenerates back up. You're gonna have to drink, if nothing else. So it's just having a build that can heal you while fighting is very useful. So let's see which macros I'm using. I'm using one macro. It's the building macro. I've decided to put all the important abilities in it. Basically, with that macro you generate attack points. You will see under my bar there are 3 swords. Those are attack points. When you have 3 attack points, you use a finisher. I've macroed it with an ability with Backhand. Because of how GCD works, it can come off cooldown while you have to use Reaping Harvest, so it helps, but it's nothing major. It's basically just 2 macros I'm using. So it's the finisher macro with Reaping Harvest and Backhand, and there's the other macro, which is the building macro. It has all the good abilities in it. You can add abilities freely at will. You can use consumable items and stuff like that to it, and it helps. So let's see how the spec works. As I said, you have attack points, you generate attack points, and you spend attack points. Very simple. And this is your whole rotation. First is the builder macro, generate 3 attack points. You can separate those abilities, I know. It doesn't matter, there is no DPS loss of doing so, if you have them. So let's see, I'm level 39 and I'm gonna try to kill level 39, 38 mob. So I start with flurry, because it's a range. I can pull them up with Surgeon's Order, it's a warlord ability, and then I generate attack points, use them with finisher. Generate attack points, use them with finisher. Very simple, nothing hard, and you'll see that I'm not losing HP at all. This is the case because I pulled only one mob. I'm gonna try pulling 2 mobs. Those mobs are only one level under me. Let's see how much 2 mobs hurt. I'm starting to take some damage. A lot of damage is getting prevented by Shield of Will, which is why I decided to take this talent. You see, I'm getting to 75% HP with pulling 2 mobs. And after you've gained enough attack, levels, you will get Shifting Blades. It's not that good at early level, but the later it gets, the stronger this ability is gonna get. You can use it, I use it because it's an extra button. It's nothing major, but still, didn't have my buffs. I'm gonna pull 3 mobs now, and we'll see how that goes. I put Shock Pulse or Ravaging Strike if you don't have Tempest on a separate button, and you use that to poke mobs from range, and it's really good for tagging mobs in rifts or invasions. When I pull 3 mobs, those start to hurt. My HP is dropping quite low, but the build has sustained. It has heals from Battlefield Medic, from Way of the Sun buff, and from Recovery Posture buff, and all those things help. I have no problem surviving the 3 mobs I just pulled, and it's due to me having enough healing and shielding. One very important ability that I forgot to notice, and is absolutely crucial for this spec, is Fleet of Foot. It increases movement speed by 50% for 15 seconds. When you are leveling and you sometimes pull more mobs than you should by accident, this is the ability I'm using. I've been using it a lot because you need to run away fast or you are gonna die, especially if you are low HP. And this is one of the best abilities you can get from Paragon for utility, and I recommend getting that one. You can spend your soul points freely. Weapon Master is a very good, very good talent. Like some talents like Deadly Parity, not that great. You can decide for yourself. I spec'd into Interrupt as well. Really useful to interrupt the cast of the mobs you're killing. Everything helps. You'll notice that Rift Prime isn't a joke. And I'm gonna be spending all the points in Paragon till I get 41. I'll have to respec because I spent them differently. I went for 12 Warlord earlier, but it's fine. You can respec, it's not an issue. I've decided to test my spec, my Paragon spec, on a elite level 40 mob from a quest. The quest says that it's a group quest, it requires 3 people, the mob is elite, it's only 1 mob, but I expect it's gonna hurt. It has 23,000 HP, which is a lot for a mob at level 39, and I'm gonna test it so that I use Champion first, which is AoE DPS spec, but it has a lot of single target DPS as well. Back in Nightmare Tide It was one of the highest single target DPS from all AoE DPS specs. This is my spec for champion. It's one of the best AoE DPS specs in the game at the moment as well, so I'm gonna buff myself up and let's see how killing the one elite mob with champion goes. You see the mob is doing a lot of damage to me, and with champion you don't have much sustain. You only have AoE, like AoE ability that heals you based on how many mobs are around, so champion not that great obviously. I use that ability, it heals for 300 only, way more damage than I'm tanking, which means that I cannot kill this mob with my spec. It's getting close, but the damage is simply too high. If I was really lucky with RNG, it might be possible, but let's leave it there for now. Now I'm gonna go my other spec, the Paragon one that I'm making a guide for, and we'll see if there's any difference between the two specs. And if you know you have to kill hard mobs, it's recommended to use some consumables which you can get from closing rifts, invasions, footholds. I use another shield on myself. So let's see how the Paragon spec does. You can notice that I've not taken any damage at all. It is because of the shields. And we can also check how much total healing I can do with this spec. At the moment it's around 60 healing per second. It is not much, I know, but if you do a prolonged fight it's gonna keep you healthy. And you have to know that the shields are not included, shield of will is not included in the equation, so you see that I managed to kill this mob without taking any damage in Paragon spec. Meanwhile I champion, I died, so the difference is obvious, and this is why I think the spec is really good for all kinds of open world content, from closing rifts to doing invasions to killing mobs, questing. Not great for PvP, and for dungeons you can spend all your talents into maximum DPS, which is gonna help you a lot. So that's all for this video. I'm sorry about the video I released earlier. I didn't put that much effort into the previous video because I thought that the Rift Prime is gonna be a joke, but it isn't, so that's why I've decided to make it again, to show you, to give you tips if you are not an experienced warrior. And yeah, see you until next time.